What's up guys, Dice here, and today I bring you a new update for my Umádromo spin-off series, Umádromo. This time we got the full art for Verset King. As always, thanks Juan for the incredible artwork. I say that pretty much all the time he makes art, but it keeps being amazing, so I'm just gonna keep saying it. Yeah, thanks a lot to Juan for making this incredible art. So one of the first things I wanted to address is the art style. Something that I probably should have addressed in the first chapter, but whatever. Better late than never. The art style for Umádromo is going to be very different from the art style of the Umádromo series, and that's all on purpose. You see, when I approached Nat and Juan for the Umádromo spin-off series, they both told me, really, my art style is very different. You don't want me to adjust it so that it's closer to the visual look of the series, and I told them, no, don't do that. Because from the very beginning, I wanted to make sure that the series had its own distinct look and feel to it. If I could make a comparison, think of how, for example, the typical spin-off in shows like Gundam Seed look very different to the mainline timeline of Universal Century, something like that. I wanted to make sure that visually it looked very different so that people knew from the start this was going to be a very unique take on the Umádromo series. Of course, I'm still going to be following the visual language and design of the series. I will also be following the tone of the series' storytelling and other similar things, so it will still feel very familiar to fans of the series, but I still wanted to make sure that visually it looked very unique. So definitely look forward to that. And of course, more importantly, I really like the art styles that Juan and Nat have, so I really am looking forward to working more with them and seeing their styles bring my ideas come to life. Now, onto Verset King herself. As you see, her suit is blue. Now, originally when her signature racewear was being designed back when the first chapter dropped, I had the idea of making it green because I made the mistake of thinking that the real-life Verset King's jockey silks were green and white. But upon looking at it again, I remember asking Juan, does this look blue to you or is it just me? And he looked at the video of Verset King winning a race and he told me, bro, this is 100% blue. I don't know how you can see it as green. So, well, yeah, it's actually blue now. Honestly, it worked out in the end. It's especially later on, as you'll see, but ultimately I really like the design. As always, it looks amazing and it follows the visual language. As you can see, the previous Versets all have a very similar design language that they all follow while still keeping their own unique visual look and feel to them intact. Verset King specifically was designed very similarly to Ribot's Verset, where they're heavily inspired by King Oger's suit designs with the cape and the more royal aesthetic. Verset King in particular was more heroic versus Ribot being more like the rival or villain in a Toku series. And of course there's her crown, which is the ear accessory I decided to give her. You know, Verset King, crown, it makes perfect sense. Having a metallic silver look for both the armor and the crown was a really nice touch. I really like the way Juan set it up. Now her pre and post tension pose, just like the many of the other Versets, is based on the pre-existing Toku series. In her case, it's based on King Oger's. I was really trying to find how it could make it work because the henshin pose uses a sword, and this time we were going to use a betting ticket as the sort of like the henshin ID card, and I think we did a pretty good job. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What do you think of the pre and post henshin pose, how we adjusted everything to accommodate better this series and style? As for the ID card itself, it has the words, "A prayer to become worthy of your birthright," and this will come into play more when Verset King gets her story told and how she's really looking forward to being the next entry in the Verset's legend, but ultimately has to go up against a set of very tough opponents, including Borracoso, the winner of the Caribbean Derby. And that's a pretty important race. It's basically Japan Cup, but in the Caribbean, but with a restriction of only 3-year-olds being able to enter. And yeah, just if you guys have read, for example, King Halo's career, there's a lot of similarities there. You'll see a lot of similarities between that, King Halo, or even like Star Blossom. I don't know how many of you out there have read Star Blossom. Okay, so I just forgot something real quick. So you're probably wondering, why is her hair blonde? You see, originally I had intended Verset King to have white hair because this is to resemble the fact that the real life Verset King had a white mask, similar to how Twin Turbo in Uma Musume has blue hair to reflect the real Twin Turbo's blue mask. But I chose not to go through that because I felt that it would probably give people the wrong impression that King was a gray horse, and that would especially be bad considering that Borrascoso is a great horse, and I wanted to make sure that both of them look distinct from one another when I would eventually get to Borrascoso's storyline. I'm gonna be honest, that's pretty far into the future. But it's still a good idea to future-proof so that if I were to have the opportunity to cover that story arc, I don't end up realizing, fuck, I should have made the character design look like this or that. So I went with Juan's suggestion, and which was to make her blonde, and I really like how it came out. I thought the colors are pretty good, and it helps make each character feel very distinct from one another from a visual standpoint. That's very important when you're handling a very large cast of characters like in Uma Musume. And I hope everyone's looking forward to Verset's Jet's artwork, which is coming up real soon. If you want to catch when that drops, please leave a like and comment and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.